Baratheons.
What up, virtual people? Welcome to episode 71 of VCR Redux. We take your favorite franchises out of the analog era and bring them back to 2022. I'm your host, pop culture punk Chris Stiles, joined as always by my co-host with the most, film professor Ian Klink.
How you doing, everybody?
And we have two radical guests on the show tonight. First up, of course, our own honorary third host from Rick Barton the Line. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. Mickey Torres is on the show.
What's up, everyone?
And rounding out this righteous crew, she was formerly the social media coordinator for Wizard World and is currently a member of the Vancouver Master Chorale, with whom she recently performed at Carnegie Hall. That's right, folks, Carnegie Hall. Fandom Spotlite's own musical expert, Jaz Bielby's on the show.
Yeah!
Great to be back. Thank you for having me back.
Welcome back. Yes.
You have been greatly missed by the VCR crew.
Right.
Thank you so much for coming back on. We are here today to uncover the historical documents, the beryllium sphere, and to never surrender, because this world needs Galaxy Quest 2. The journey continues, and we're here to give it to you. But before we can party like it's 1999, we need to talk about how Galaxy Quest came into our lives and what we love about it. And that goes for everyone watching in the live chat too. Did you watch Galaxy Quest on cable and love it? Did you watch it on Laserdisc and hate it? Hit us up in the live chat and let us know the details. So, Jaz, do you remember the first time you watched Galaxy Quest?
I really do not, but I'm sure it was just when it was on cable running on some station like USA or TNT and something. And I mean, Alan Rickman, Sam Rockwell, Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Rainn Wilson, the list goes on. I mean, how can you not love this movie?
I almost did an Ian move today and was like thinking of him as Steve Rockwell for some reason. I don't know what that was.
Sam Rockwell, right?
Yeah. Oh God.
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, I love
Steve,
him.
He's
awesome.
Steve, Sam, Bob.
And I've
Jim.
never,
It
I
doesn't
don't think I've
matter.
seen him in anything between this and Ninja Turtles. 90 to 99. I didn't see him in anything other than these two movies.
The Green
but-
Mile.
Three billboards
But that
over
was
Ebbing,
later.
That's
Missouri
also
is
99.
fantastic.
Which
He's in
one?
there. Kills it.
Three billboards.
Billboards over Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah, I've seen a
now
little
few
bits of
years
that on
ago.
cable. That movie seemed really good. I love Frances McDormand. But at any rate, getting back to Galaxy Quest.
I love your like distaste of the fact that you like the way you worded it. The fact you watched it on cable made you more upset. You're like, yeah, I've caught bits and pieces of it on cable. Like you paused on the on cable.
Did I? I didn't even catch the pause. But
I think subconsciously you hate standard
no,
practices.
I love cable.
Like,
because I love cable because it gets me to watch movies like that I'm probably not going to rush out to the theater to see. Like that's what cable's for. You come in halfway and you get captivated and like.
I believe in that actually. You know,
I totally do. Yeah.
When I was younger and you watched HBO, did you not find yourself like if that movie started, you just had to finish it? It wasn't like now where you could click it off. Like it's like, all right, well, I guess I'm in it for the secret garden. Like, let's just rock this out. Like, I want to know what the ending is. You know,
You took the best of your.
Or you came in during the middle or towards the end, and you're like, you liked it so much, you're like, oh man, I want to see this from the beginning. So you waited until it ran it again. The
So
whole
let's
day,
face it.
the whole
It
day,
took-
you're sitting there like watching HBO, going like, are they gonna play it again?
If you had
They're gonna play it again?
If you
It
had
took-
90s cable, even if you had all 4 premium channels, that still meant you had like maybe 12 channels at most that
That's
you
right.
would watch, right? Like the 4 premium channels, Comedy Central, MTV VH1, USA TNT, I'm already like maybe a couple networks, Fox for the
it
Simpsons.
took me 22 years to finally figure out that the movie was Ruskies. I watched it. I
Oh, I
got
love
into
when
the
that
middle of
happens.
this movie, and it's like that's not River Phoenix, and it's not Joaquin Phoenix because that's not the name on the list. Even though it took me years to figure out he changed his name, but I was like, the guy from Christmas Story and Leaf Phoenix were in this movie, and there was a Russian, and it took me years to finally figure out it was Ruskies.
I've heard of that movie and I've never seen it, and I'm much
Yeah.
more curious
It's
now.
because you
that
are a
it's-
communist. It's okay, Chris.
I love, as Bobby would say, I love that journey for you, and now I kind of want to check it out. But speaking of journeys, we should get back to Galaxy Quest a little bit here. Mickey, do you remember the first time you watched Galaxy Quest?
Full disclosure, it's no secret that I am not a huge sci-fi fan.
Right.
I do not liked Star Wars, Star Trek. I've never seen a Star Wars movie ever in my entire life.
We're in a bad
So,
industry.
like the
contempt
interesting, like
Ian
I
has.
did watch when I was a kid. I was forced to watch like the William Shatner Star Wars or Star Treks. So
You almost set the internet into rage.
yeah, exactly. See, that's how much I love these movies.
I
But,
remember watching Trek Wars with
But but I did
with Mark Shatner.
I did love that was Tech Wars. Tech Wars was William
Tech Wars
Shatner.
Wars is everything. Like,
I love Tech Wars. Anyway,
yeah, forget Galaxy Quest. Let's talk about Tech War. Like,
so but in any event, like I for some reason I was just interested in seeing this movie, so I rented it because I think I saw the cover and I was like, this is I don't know, this looks kind of cool.
This parody is a genre I hate and have never watched.
Yeah,
I'm gonna rent this.
It had Tim Allen and Sigourney Weaver, and I was like, Sigourney Weaver's hot. I like Sigourney Weaver. Let me go take a chance on this. And I freaking love this movie. Like I watch this movie a lot. Like it's probably at least a few times a year that I'll sit there and watch it.
Get the fuck out of here, really.
I love this movie. I love this movie. This movie, you know what? Also, I don't know if I saw, because I don't know when it came out. Do you remember the documentary Trekkies?
oh yeah.
So
I remember it. I never saw it, but I remember.
And there was actually two. There's Trekkies 1, Trekkies 2, because they did 2 parts to this thing. But anyway, I remember watching this documentary, and I don't remember like the time frame of when I saw this before Galaxy Quest or if I saw this after Galaxy Quest. Because obviously we know the Galaxy Quest is basically a parody, but it's also happens to be a parody of more than anything, the Trekkie conventions.
Yeah.
Right.
So I remember watching Trekkies and like, I love conventions. So to me, it was like, these people are awesome. Like I might not like the genre. I might, not even remember much of any kind of Star Trek show, but I just love the feeling and the vibe of these people. And a lot of people like watch these things and think like, oh, they're dorks, they're nerds or whatever like that. I'm like, I'm a nerd, I'm a dork. I'm like, I go to conventions all the time. I'm like, they're just like us. But I love the passion of these Star Trek conventions, because I've even seen like, I'll throw on YouTube and I'll watch Star Trek conventions, like, like panels and stuff like that. Have no clue what they're talking about. No clue. But I'm still like, you know what? I love it. I love it. So I don't know. It's weird. It's a fandom that I wish
absolutely no sense at all.
It doesn't. It's a fandom that I wish I was a part of. To be honest, like I'm like, but I just can't get into it. Like it's just like, but I respect and love those people.
That's We Are the Champions playing in the background.
You
I
have
hear
like
it.
Trek envy
I hear
or
it.
something.
But I love this movie. So like, I mean, like I saw it, I rented it, and then repeatedly just had to rent it and keep watching it and keep watching it. And then anytime it was on HBO, I would watch it. Anytime it was on any kind of cable channel, I'd watch it. I don't care if it's in the middle, if it's towards the end, I don't care. I'll watch it, because I love it. I love it. Tim Allen, so underrated. Like I was never
I was never
a huge fan of his comedy. I did like it. I did not like Home Improvement, but I just love Tim Allen as a person.
That also makes no fucking sense.
Because he's real. He's been through a lot.
Like
he's come through a lot.
You basically just said like I like Tim Allen as a person, but I hated Tim Allen the show. That's what Home Improvement was. It was like the Tim Allen show.
That's why I didn't. I mean, I liked some of his stand-up before he started doing the whole like the grunt thing or whatever like that became the Home Improvement.
Oh yeah.
Basically,
there is a difference. There was the early days Tim Allen kind of comedy, and then he kind of stumbled into the
and then that was just shtick.
The men are pigs.
Then you had to keep doing that Men Are Pigs.
Let's all break out our fucking tweed blazers and our cob pipes now and shit. There was an early Tim Allen comedy.
And I love Chris Evans. I love Chris Evans.
Chris.
But Tim Allen is my Buzz Lightyear. Tim Allen is my Buzz Lightyear.
That's a
Wow.
hashtag right there.
We are getting
Alan
deep.
Rickman is my background.
Well,
We
I
are
was
getting
I was always
fucking-
Team Iron Man. So like,
We're getting fucking way deeper than I expected us to on like the evolution of Tim Allen's comedy like eras. Let's Jesus. Ian, tell me the first time you saw Galaxy Quest.
So I saw this. This is definitely a rental from the Eldridge Library. And surprisingly, it was actually one of the first DVDs I ever rented. You know, because we had just gotten a DVD player, and so I was able to actually rent DVDs, and so Galaxy Quest was on there. And
Do you remember what brand your first DVD player was? Sony? Was it a Toshiba?
It was
Philips?
it was a Panasonic.
That's a solid brand. That was a pretty
I
good
think it was
choice.
Panasonic. So yeah, I mean, I absolutely adore Galaxy Quest because I got what it was, because I wasn't a Trekkie fan of the show. Like I never, to this day, I still have not seen all of the original Star Trek episodes.
oddly enough, I probably have, but I just don't remember.
Yeah,
any of them.
I haven't. I love Voyager. I'll watch Voyager all the time. Like that's kind of my show. Which I
What's
know
wrong with you people.
Look,
Hashtag the next generation over here for me. Just saying.
yeah, but I loved the movies. Like that as a Trekkie was my was the Star Trek movies. You know,
Yeah.
Wrath of Khan, Searching for Spock, all of those. I loved those. I'll watch all the time.
I'm glad we met as adults. I don't think we would have been friends as kids, Ian. I'm just saying. I was not into the Star Trek films.
I wouldn't be friends with you as a kid either. Look at how you dress now, and I know you dress like that then. I would never talk to you, you creepoid. But
Only the janitor was willing to befriend me with my attire.
You and Ali Sheedy in the background putting dandruff on your food. But the no, I totally got what they were doing. And that was my favorite thing about this. And I am with Mickey. Like this is why Mickey and I are friends. I love Tim Allen. I could sit there and watch Wild Hogs. I could sit there. Big Trouble is one of the funniest effing comedies of all time.
Yeah,
I
will watch
Big Trouble.
Oh, genius! Is a Dave Barry story. Barry Sonnenfeld directed it. It's an all-star cast. Tim Allen is great. But what I loved about, and this is what I love about Galaxy Quest, is they took the characters, and we all know Tim Allen is Shatner, Sigourney Weaver is Uhura, Alan Rickman
is Spock,
is Spock, but they didn't do Shatner, right? Like they did an idea of Shatner.
I think they did the idea of Shatner, that Shatner was kind of like, off-camera dick.
He's a dick.
Like
he's a jerk. He's not it. I mean, the famous SNL skit, you losers, get a life,
Or like, and I was surprised in some of the research that I did on this just recently, that the Tony Shalhoub character was actually loosely based on David Carradine.
Oh,
really?
How they're saying, because like David Carradine, like because the character was made up. Tony Shalhoub originally tried to become the Roy. I think he tried out for the Roy character.
Huh.
But he didn't get that, but they liked him, and they like, well, we'll just make a character for you. So they made that, the Quan character. So they loosely kind of said, well, David Carradine on Kung Fu always played like an Asian, but he's not an Asian. So like kind of like that whole thing.
That's hilarious, actually.
So like that was kind of how that was created.
Tony Shalhoub is like, that is a man that if you drop him in the background of your movie, it will be gold. I mean, every role that man does is perfect.
Sidebar, I know it's a teeny tiny role, but one of my favorite Tony Shalhoub roles ever, Addams Family Values.
yes.
Tell me someone here knows, right? He's just the fucking sailor at the bar, just going for it. Oh my god, so good.
Macho man.
Oh my god, absolute gold. So I'll get to my first time watching Galaxy Quest in a sec because it is a bit of an interesting story. But I do want to start with the live chat. Let's see. I gotta scroll back already. The live chat's pretty active, but I do see some very familiar faces. I see, of course, Alex Bonafonte in there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Jeremy Ledford of Nerdcore, Angie Saunders. I mentioned there Mike Riffraff as well. A couple of mashup geniuses in there. Sean Gold of Gold's Code. Said there's something in there that I kind of scrolled past where he said set faces to fun, so that'll put you in the mood here. Jeremy Ledford says I saw it on VHS first. I think it is, yeah, sort of the end of that VHS era. Sean Gold, of course.
Oh yeah, what was it? History of Violence was the last VHS ever made.
Yes, this is 7 years before that, but
was it? Yeah.
Still with.
I just remember History of Violence on DVD. I bought it, so.
There's already a lot of Airborne talk in the chat again. People love Airborne, and I'm just here for it.
Speaking of nerds.
And here, one I can relate to in the chat. Angie Saunders never liked Star Trek. I liked Star Wars, but not Spaceballs. Whoa, I can't relate to that last part. And neither can Alex Bonafonte. Says boo and boo.
Way to post to just come after everybody on the internet. See, and I like Star Trek, F Star Wars, but that
and I love Spaceballs. I love Spaceballs as well. Man. So that's and I loved Battlestar Galactica. Go figure.
All right, I'm out.
We just lost
the old and the new.
Actually, actually, I appreciate you, Mickey, because Battlestar Galactica is everything.
Dude, that was cool. That to me, like you had face in it. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm watching this. I'm like,
so I think to frame my story right here of how I found Galaxy Quest, I really have to explain to you like my viewpoint on sci-fi in the 1990s. Like I just wasn't a fan, right? Like in the 80s, it was amazing. In the 90s, like sci-fi was like almost a dead genre. Like they were just re-releasing old stuff. E.T. got re-released, Star Wars got re-released. They were like, we got nothing new. Like Independence Day was like the one like lone, movie that like everyone loved. And I mean, I guess
I love that movie. The movie was great.
Consider Jurassic Park or T2 sci-fi.
Men in Black. Come on.
I did not like that.
Yeah, I mean, we liked it at the time, but we didn't know better. And
the Matrix,
2 years later,
The Matrix came out.
The Matrix, okay, the end of the 90s, 1999, right? So when Galaxy Quest came out,
we're proving him wrong in everything he's trying to say. It's like, there was that.
At the end, everything, like half the things you guys just said.
Because he had Fandom.
No, I'm defending.
In the mid 90s, you got like Stargate and movies like Dark City and Johnny Mnemonic and things like. None of those movies are like my favorite movies.
I'm defending Chris on this one because I'm a choosy person and picky person as well. So like I have like my likes are all over the map. People like I said, I love this movie. People are like, you love this movie, but you don't love Star Trek. And I'm like, to some people that doesn't make sense. But it's like, yeah, maybe you like cheese, but you don't like mac and cheese. That's me.
I'm not a big fan of the Brady Bunch, but I love those movies that make fun of the Brady.
Yeah. See, there you go.
I could definitely relate to that. Which ironically, we're further in time from now than those were from the Brady Bunch when they came out.
I know, isn't it sad?
The 90s nostalgia is worth those movies alone. So I took one look at Galaxy Quest when it's coming out, and I said, well, first of all, I'm not into like they've been Star Trek to death. Like I wasn't really into the Next Generation. I know that's like the shit and people love it, but I was a little kid and I didn't get any of it, and I just didn't like it. And like the original series had some value for me because my dad was so into it, but he used to drag me to the movies like as punishment. And it would, I hated those fucking Star Trek movies, like Undiscovered Country or whatever the fuck that was.
I mean, come on, you've got LeVar Burton from Reading Rainbow in the thing, for God's sake.
Dude, he couldn't even save that ship.
Undiscovered Country. It was freaking the fall of the Berlin Wall in space. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, you do realize great movie for a 7-year-old.
You do realize, right? Chris, you weren't dragged to the movie by punishment. You were dragged to the movie because your dad didn't want to see the movie by himself. Your mom wasn't going to see it.
I wrote "fuck you, Miss Rickerson" on my spelling book, and that was my punishment. Part of it was I had to go to see fucking the shit Star Trek movie with my dad.
Really? I mean,
believe
like,
me, that was like the best
did
part
he
of the punishment.
did he not buy you popcorn?
I just hope she's
I don't think
listening
so.
right now.
He didn't buy you
like,
popcorn, so you had to
I'm
sit
just saying.
and watch a movie that you hated or you
I had to
didn't
sit
like.
through some shit in the 90s, all right? I had to sit through Dances
Well,
with
did
Wolves
you
the same weekend that Rocky 5 and Home Alone came out. And I'm
Did you
still not over it.
Did you
I had to
respect
sit
the
through Pet
teacher
Sematary
after
when I
that?
was 4. And
Did
the same
you-
weekend No Holds Barred came out. What, Ian?
Did you respect the teacher after that?
She was pretty cool about it.
Well,
I guess.
then
The
it
principal wasn't so. They like shut down my whole fucking class for a day. It was a big deal. But at any rate, getting back to Galaxy Quest.
Holy crap! There's a
I was
bigger
in second
story.
grade. It was a big deal.
So the punishment fit the crime.
I just see that awful shit house movie. So yeah. But at any rate, so this is the mindset that I had, of fucking 90s me going to Galaxy Quest. And I just saw the trailer and I'm like, no, not for me. I know exactly what this fucking movie's gonna be. And I was dead wrong. And I saw the movie 20 years later and I was like, wow, I was dead wrong and I really enjoyed the movie. But what I thought the whole time was gonna be like, oh man, if we can just get him to like say the catchphrase and push the fucking stupid button, then it'll all be fine and he'll be fighting it the whole time. And then right in the third act, he'll say the stupid catchphrase and push the button and it'll save the day. And it's not that at all. Like he gets into it right away. And I thought the whole movie was going to be him like dragging his heels, being like, I don't want to do this. I did this.
Well, I mean, in a way, you're right because you're talking about Alan Rickman right there.
Yeah, the rest of the entire crew is like that for the most part. Like some of them Sigourney Weaver kind of gets on board, pretty quick too. Like I have one stupid job and I'm going to do it. But I literally did not see this movie until COVID happened. And Bill and Ted Face the Music was coming out, and I knew that it was the director of Galaxy Quest. And my roommate was like, "You're gonna fucking watch Galaxy Quest because you're gonna really enjoy it." I'm tired of you having a stick up. He's like, "I'm tired of you having a stick up your ass, and we're gonna do this." I'm like, "All right, fine." And I was like,
can't believe you waited that long to watch this movie. But
I can't believe it either.
I'm a stubborn fucking asshole.
No, I mean, well,
my favorite part of this,
I can understand. I'm the same way. So
there's a moment in 2012 that Chris is literally walking through the video store of the last vintage days, and he walked past Galaxy Quest and went.
Yeah, totally.
I love that image in my head.
Like, still not the right pandemic for me.
Yeah.
and coupled with a few other things, like I wasn't the biggest Home Improvement fan.
Neither
I wasn't
am
a huge Star Trek fan. So
what is the matter with you all? Like
I watched Home Improvement.
Gold.
I watched Home Improvement, but
I put off watching Agent Carter for many years because there were a few actors I didn't like in it, and then I finally watched it because I just love Haley Atwell that much.
Yeah,
and it was amazing.
And let me say, there's plenty of shit I've been dying to watch since 1991, and I still haven't gotten around to it. If anyone out there has seen the Taking of Beverly Hills, for one thing, it looks like a fantastic time, and I just haven't found the 90 minutes or the access. Plenty of things, low budget action movies of
Ladies
those era
and gentlemen,
hardware.
I legitimately know that this man one point told me he was literally staring at his ceiling for 2 hours thinking of a plot of something. This man had the 90 seconds to watch this movie. All right, don't let
90
him.
minutes.
Don't let him.
No, it's not that. It's the access.
As if the
when is that movie on cable?
stopping
Where is it on disc? How can I get a copy of it? It's impossible. It's like the C. Thomas Howell Babyface movie, which I hunted down proudly.
I mean, are you talking about Galaxy Quest? Because Galaxy Quest has been on everything,
No,
TNT and everything. Or are you Taking of Beverly Hills?
The Taking of Beverly Hills.
Taking of Beverly Hills. Yeah. I forgot.
Yeah, no, that's not on the rotation on TNT.
No, it's not exactly. It's rarer than a fucking beryllium
on
sphere.
Saturday, watch Galaxy Quest, followed by Shawshank Redemption. On Sunday, 3 hours of Shawshank Redemption, followed by Shawshank Redemption.
Note to self: make it a point to watch The Taking of Beverly Hills. Get off my back.
I vaguely
Norm needs more curly mullets.
I vaguely remember this.
Yes.
But,
anyway,
I mean,
it's like a fucking football guy in an action movie. It's like a diet caffeine-free Point Break. Anyway, getting back to Galaxy Quest, it really is a fucking great movie. And I watched it again this morning, and it was only the second time I had watched it, which is rare. Usually, every movie done on VCR Redux, I've watched like 1,000 times. And this is one I've only watched twice. But like I said, I enjoyed it even more the second time. So that's how I knew it was like, okay, this movie is one of those kind of classics that you could sort of go back to over and
Well,
over again.
and it's a smart script too, because if you don't watch Star Trek, and this is the power of Star Trek, I think the world knows enough, just enough about Star Trek. I think everybody knows the idea of what Star Trek is enough, like through cultural references or whatnot. Like I think you get that you can enjoy Galaxy Quest without watching movies. It's just one of those movies where the gem, if you know the Star Trek movies, if you know the franchise, it's even sweeter. You know, it's good pizza, but it's like your favorite pizza if you know the original series and all that stuff.
I really think it's like, again, I go back to like fans of conventions in themselves. I think that's what draws a lot of people to this movie. The sci-fi aspect is there, but look at somebody like me, like who's not a sci-fi fan, but I was, I'm a fan of conventions. And then I remember watching Trekkies, the documentary on Star Trek fans, and it's pretty widely noted, the fandom of Star Trek fans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's like more or less along the lines of, I could be wrong, but I just feel like most people may go into this going like, oh, it's a spoof on Star Trek, but it's also about conventions, and then they're fans, and then there's so much to bring you to this, to bring you to the table.
Well,
the only convention I had been to at that point was like a baseball card convention.
That's what I was gonna say. This is actually, I don't know if you all feel this way, but I really do think conventions really didn't, in a weird way, become like acceptable or mainstreamy. Like nowadays, I hear everybody going to conventions all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all met at conventions.
But I feel the Star Trek ones were the first.
Well, they
I feel they were the first.
But even in '99, it wasn't really a cool thing to go to it wasn't a main popular thing to do. So Galaxy Quest, even in itself, is really kind of being smart by adding that element of the convention.
But when did Comic-Con start?
Comic-Con's always been there, but what I'm saying is it like that was the biggest one. And I mean, even then, it wasn't as attended as Comic-Con is today. I think, and maybe it is. Maybe it's the Marvel universe. When that popped, it was all of a sudden like going to a comic book convention is actually the in thing to do. Or, Comic-Con is the, we're going to spend our vacation going to Comic-Con, and
it definitely is. Like I think it's always been like a destination.
Yeah,
a lot of people, the San Diego one, especially.
But like,
and then when the New York one happened, it was a taste of it.
But it's like, I think then in '99, it was like, you and your group of geek friends went. Now it's like the school bully and quarterback is at the convention too.
It's acceptable. It's more acceptable.
Yeah, it's so it's like almost,
or dare I say, more inclusive.
But Galaxy Quest is now a little bit outdated in a weird way. It's
but people still love it. I mean, they also just did like the recently in 2019 was that documentary that they did, the Galaxy Quest documentary. Yeah. And then they also did a comic book, which was a sequel to Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
Well, shit, I did not know that. Well, we are just about at the half-hour point, so it's a good time for me to remind the home audience to ready their pitches for Galaxy Quest 2. Right.
But before we go in there, we got to talk about our favorite parts, though, real quick. And I'll tell you mine.
Yeah.
The storyline of Guy is one of the funniest damn things, because to me, Galaxy Quest was the first one to point out the red shirts phenomenon. That the red shirts are always the one that dies in the original Star Trek series. So it sucks to be a red shirt.
That went over here.
But like, Guy is hilarious. It's Guy's the one that's supposed to die. He's
he has no last name.
Yeah, he has no last name. That to me was just so genius for them to point out. And so to me, that's one of my favorite movies.
I've read that Sam Rockwell based that performance on Bill Paxton in Aliens.
And then this is Justin Long's first movie too.
Yeah, I believe you're right. He was just the Apple guy back then. Remember those Apple commercials he did?
That was after.
Was
Apple
that after
commercials,
this?
way after. Yeah, he was
I
a
guess
known
could be
guy.
right. Yeah, I guess you're probably right. Yeah, that actually does sound about right.
Can we also all just point out that Chris is literally the aliens in Galaxy Quest?
I'm not aware of what you're talking about.
Oh
yeah, that's fair. I have the exact same, complexion.
And I didn't notice it until literally our screens popped up, and I'm sitting here prepping folks, and I'm like, all right, got a background. Like, oh my God, Chris is one of the aliens.
Sometimes Torres says one thing and then does another. It's very new to us.
Oh my God.
I like, oddly enough, I can't really point out a favorite scene. I just love the movie in its entirety.
Yeah.
There's no, for me, there's not like a scene that I can, keep going over and over again. I mean, I love the intro, like basically like, when he first is on the ship, they first take him and he's on the ship and he's literally like, I mean, he's drinking a Coke, but he's like, like looks all hungover and everything else like that. It's basically and everything. And he's just like, he thinks this is all fake. I love the setup.
Yeah.
So
well, I know Shatner and them have watched Galaxy Quest because there's been some interviews where they've talked about it. But I think I would love to have watched Leonard Nimoy watch Alan Rickman talk about I'm not going out there. I'm not saying the line. I'm not doing it. Like, because
stupid line.
Well, he had that famous book, I Am Not Spock, and then of course years later reversed it, and the book's now I Am Spock. And I just wish I could see him in his LA home just going,
They got that right. Right.
Yep.
I mean, I can't really think of a favorite scene either. I mean, it's just the whole thing's glorious. But I mean, to what Ian said, yes, like everything that Sam Rockwell does in this is great. Like oh, that's not right part where it's like the lube and
Missy Pyle.
Yeah, I love Missy Pyle too.
Yeah.
The best part of that is the sound effects. Whoever did the sound effects was having way too much fun because it's like
I do love his cheesy, like when he's announcing them on stage, he does the echo.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, now come to the stage. He's like,
But yeah, also I do have to say, scene that I do love though is when Alexander Dane finally gives into it and just is that Geilich. I can't think of the guy's name now. I was saying it all afternoon, so I wouldn't forget it too. But then when the guy was dying in his arms, he finally said with love. And it was like,
that is a moment. I just also like this was a good opportunity for Sigourney Weaver. I mean, I watch Sigourney Weaver in anything. Like I rented, Two Moon Junction. Like I am there with Sigourney Weaver in everything she does. But this was like great. She's got comedy. We finally got her back into a comedy, and it's also great. She's spoofing the alien role. Like there's a couple of alien jokes in this too that they wrote after.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, yeah.
I was actually watching that documentary as well, like before the panel. Like, I think it ended like just 15 minutes before that. I had to come to do the panel, and they were talking about, I guess, in the actual film that they didn't like record like a child-friendly version to. She actually says like "fuck this" when they're going.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the studio changed it to screw this like PG rating.
Like yeah.
Because
I guess people were ticked off that it wasn't for kids because here you have Tim Allen, Santa Claus.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. The fucking Santa Claus movie.
See
another reason I was like not so big on him.
Great Tim Allen. Come on, Tim Allen is Santa Claus. Come on, that's good.
I was a little too old, man. I was like
I was
10
older than you, and I still love the movie.
Well, God bless your youthful heart and your boyish exuberance. I was a cranky old
Wearing your
grandpa.
Batman shirt.
I was a cranky old grandpa back then. I was like, give me my cardigan. I need to spill some soup on this.
But so if I had to do like, we're talking about like,
Pasta.
doing like a sequel to this.
They got good shrimp here. I'm
Shrimp
sorry,
here.
I'm sorry.
So we're talking about like doing a sequel to this. And I, like I will say that I don't need a sequel to it because I love this movie so much that I just don't want to see a sequel to it. But if we were to see a sequel to it, I would be interested in two things. I hate saying this because we say this a lot. It does lead itself to a show. But the problem is that you have Orville. And Orville,
Yeah,
Orville,
so that's why you don't do the
Orville
show.
is
That's why you don't do
basically
the show.
Galaxy Quest.
It really is, yeah.
That's why you can't do it as a show.
So you
But-
can't do it as a show, and I don't think you can even do it as a
the
movie because
point-
of Orville.
I
To
had
the
no
point,
idea.
I did that. When I watched the Orville, like the trailer, I was like,
It's Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
thought the
Like,
same
it's like,
thing.
It's like when you saw Avatar. It's like, so it's Dances with Wolves, but with blue people.
Yeah.
Like, okay. You
Yeah.
know, like it's just we've seen this before. Yeah.
But I mean, like, so I would like that because I'd be interested in just seeing that the day to day of this. But then I said like like a back to the con kind of thing. Like basically this went down, but they somehow have to explain to people that this is real or this was real. This really happened. This and that.
Hmm.
And maybe you have a lot of fans that don't believe it. Like like they're just like, no, it's fake, this and that, and whatever, and then maybe something happens that the bad guy comes back in a con, and I don't know. I really don't want to see.
You just said a word though, and I didn't even think about this when we were coming up with names. But literally, so they got the show right. The show's been rebooted, and they've got the newer version of it and everything. Hear me out.
Yeah.
The Wrath of Khan. CON.
Oh, that's not a bad
I
subtitle.
see what you did there. I see what you did there.
All right. The show is going on, and an alien adopts an identity of a version of their bad hero from episode 74, who is a
Okay.
Khan-like character.
And he slips through the crowd.
And he slips through the and he is now has a vengeance against what's Tim Allen's name?
It's a great way. I think what you guys
Jason
are saying.
Nesbitt. Yeah,
James Nesbitt,
I think what you guys
Yeah,
are describing is a great first act, but you need to take the movie to space. I'm just.
Oh, I
gonna
agree. No, I agree.
Oh,
But that's what I'm saying. Like
it'll get there, Chris. It'll get there.
It's
Okay.
you literally take that plot of the Wrath of Khan, the which we all know is a genius move, right? The first movie was this weird kind of big epic sci-fi Alan Dean Foster kind of thing, and all of a sudden Star Trek 2 comes along, and it's like a 180 that everybody just loved, and so I think they should really take that, for the sequel, take that kind of approach. It's the show's going on, but it's still that confusion, right? It's still aliens misinterpreting what this show was, but this guy created his identity off of this Superman Khan-esque character. And I'm trying to think of an actor that would just make this everything. And the only one I can think of is Jim Carrey. Like Jim Carrey added to this cast would do something incredible.
As the bad guy?
Yes, as the villain.
Okay, okay,
Jim
okay.
Carrey is the alien villain who is now trying to be is trying to be Like, imagine that in living color Jim Carrey that we all loved, and him just doing just that
Case
face.
one, go for it. Yeah.
Something of that
Oh
nature.
well, he did a great Shatner on In Living Color.
Oh, he
I don't know
did.
if that's I don't know if that's
Yeah.
what you're talking about, but
Well, I am, but like,
um,
imagine him creating, like, just give Jim Carrey the like a check for whatever he wants, and just say, bring us the gold, and he have him come back, like, and like just rock it out. I think that would be incredible, and I agree with you, Chris. I don't know where else it goes, but that's the first act for me.
I really like that. I think it's strong. I think it's very, very strong.
Yep.
Now, I
That's
will.
it, kids. Good night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you gotta also think about this. It's like, they gotta get back to normal life. How do you go back to normal life knowing that this just really happened?
Well,
And
you
now,
got it. Well,
now
I
you're
think.
going to cons and people don't believe you.
Well, I
that
think
And
this
you
that's
got.
happened.
I think
I-
that's something you need to explore.
Yeah,
Well, you got to.
that's
You got to.
that would be interesting to me.
You
Like,
got to
and I
set
had-
it up their age now. I mean, like
Yeah.
that. I think you do it today now, and it's like
Tim
you know-
Tim Allen becomes an alcoholic, but that's
Yeah,
a little
and
too
he's
close to home.
but he's
in
also
any
in
event-
pain because it's like, how do you do an
Yeah.
action show at 60? Like, you can actually tie in that kind of James Bond thing that's been going on lately, where it's like, I'm a spy, but my knee, I blew out my knee, like my meniscus, it's like a trend.
And he's at the con, and Gil Gerard is right next to him because we love Buck Rogers.
Nobody watched Buck Rogers.
So-
in the
I did.
25th century.
I loved it.
I know you did. You're the only one who did. You and the other guy who watched BJ and the Bear. Like,
I like BJ. And
Yeah,
the
let's
Bear.
not forget they both watched Remo Williams as well.
I
So
like
I
Remo
had a
Williams.
vague idea of what I wanted to do with this today, but I think it really kind of solidified when Ian started quoting Abe Vigoda from Look Who's Talking, and boom, that's it right there. Just put Abe Vigoda in
the
this,
hell
and
outta
it's
here.
perfect. Yeah.
I
I just want Abe Vigoda coming onto the fucking ship, having no idea where he is, being like, "They got good shrimp here." Like,
Is he
That
still
was-
alive?
No,
know he
sadly.
passed away.
Yeah.
But he was in Good Burger. Like, it's not too far off.
Good burger.
the
Welcome
cinematic
to
masterpiece
Good Burger.
that is Good
Who
Burger.
would be our Abe Vigoda of today? Who's a good?
Well, here's what I think. You take the cast of Galaxy Quest 1 and you push them forward in age just enough so that like they're a little confused. They're not even sure if they really went to space anymore or not, or if they're like insane.
Put Alan
you know?
Alda. Put old Alan Alda in there. Like, hey, this
Oh
is great.
yes.
This is an
Fuck
incredible
yes.
ship, you guys. I really
I would
love
love
this
Tracy
place, but
Morgan. I would love
And here's-
Tracy Morgan.
Oh, I
in
would
it.
love it too.
Oh my god!
And here's what got me thinking, right? Like, even though I had checked out of Star Trek by this point, I even stopped to kind of look at the trailers and posters for Generations when they did Shatner and Stewart in a movie together. And I remember Shatner had the line like, "I was running the Enterprise and you were in diapers," or something, whatever the fuck line he has. And I think that's the way I would do the second and third act. I would take the first act pretty much exactly like you have. I would also introduce like the younger generation thing, and that there's a dislike among the two crews.
Oh, so maybe
then-
they did it.
Oh,
that
Yeah,
would be
like
kinda
the
cool.
younger,
That's
hipper,
great.
sexier
That's
crew
great.
doesn't like the
Okay.
old Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver
So
crew. You know,
you do realize who we're gonna need in the new Jason Nesmith role? Yes.
no, who? Chris Pratt.
Wrong, Chris. Might have to go
Chris
with Evans.
Evans,
just
Chris
because
Evans.
Just because of Mickey. I was literally
The
telling
light
my friend
year.
earlier.
The
I thought it
battle
was
of the
like
light years.
hilarious.
Jazz, I thought you were gonna say Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and I'm like, take my money, let's do this.
JTT just shot up in bed.
JTT,
I
let's-
mean,
He could be the new guy in the new
Yes!
generation.
yes, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, the new guy. I love it. Do it. Make it happen.
That
They-
would
we
be
need
awesome.
JTT now
that-
more
that's
than
actually-
ever.
Now I actually think
And
it's
bring the
great.
other kid too.
mix that with
Which
the
one? There's like two others.
Bring them both. Bring them both. Throw them in the new
That's
generation.
great. Now you got the Jim Carrey, the con of Jim Carrey coming in to battle these two. Like, that's genius. That actually is hilarious.
So
That
put
would be
Jonathan
great.
Taylor Thomas as guy in the new generation, and then
And
put
you could have
put the
Oh,
other two
God.
kids with the bad guy, Jim Carrey.
You could also have
Ooh.
Jim Carrey, like the actor, be in it as well as like this character who appeared, the only character who appeared in
As
both
the
shows.
As the
You know what I
guy.
mean? Oh, like
and-
Jim Carrey
yeah,
played
yeah.
Khan in the original show and on the new show. It's weird. Everyone else they rebooted, but like he was too good, so they just brought him back.
Oh, can
And
you
then
see-
so the
can
guy
you see
takes the
that
visage
great-
of Jim Carrey's Khan,
Oh,
He's
that-
a
and it's the Wrath of Khan.
I just
He's the
love,
Hugh Jackman of Galaxy Quest.
But I
Yes.
love
Yes.
that I love that 70s look that they put on Tim Allen, and all of a sudden, you get Jim Carrey looking like a young Khan coming in. It's bad camera angle.
Bad Ricardo Montalban wig and shit.
Oh,
Mm.
can you imagine Jim Carrey doing Ricardo Montalban?
It would be
Oh my
great.
god.
That
be
would
amazing.
be genius.
That would be genius. So
That
who
would
would
be
you cast?
awesome.
Who's the young Sigourney?
Emma
Dead
Stone.
silence. Emma Stone, he says.
You're pricing yourself out here now. Like this
Scarlett-
I think
Scarlett
this-
Johansson?
Oh, Scarlett
This-
I
Joe.
mean, I was thinking Scarlett Joe, but I might be going a little too Marvel with this, with Chris Evans as the new Nesmith.
but that
Evans,
could be
you're
interesting.
fired.
But
But
that
they
could be,
they do work together an awful lot, it seems. So
But that
That
would
is
be
also
interesting.
true.
But that would be interesting.
it's another like little meta thing for your.
Too bad.
Wrath
She's
of
You also
Khan.
could have Natalie Portman, who would then kind of get a chance to make
No,
fun of what
no,
she did
no,
in
no,
Star
no, no,
Wars.
no, no,
How
no,
about
no,
how
no,
about
no,
how
no,
about
no.
Isla Fisher?
Oh, I love her.
Oh,
Isla
I can't,
Fisher.
I can't with Natalie
Isla
Portman.
Fisher, yeah.
And you could have Sacha Baron Cohen in it too.
Ooh, he'd be really good, actually.
I
He'd
would
be
take
great
it-
as the new Rickman.
I would. Oh.
Ooh, I don't know. That's a hard bar right there.
Let's get
Yeah,
Shia
You
hus-
gotta,
LaBeouf.
you
husband
gotta
and
go
wife.
for it. You gotta swing for the fences.
Husband
Shia-
and wife
Shia
in the
LaBeouf.
movie.
Who's his
Shia
wife? Isla Fisher?
Yeah.
Isla Fisher, yep.
Isla Fisher.
Oh, okay. Well, then, boom. Yeah, that works. Bring them both. Package deal. Keep them happy.
That
Oh,
would
and
actually- That would.
and
And then
I
they
would
have to
love. Wait
team
a
up.
minute. I'm sorry. The Chris Evans. I love Chris Evans, but wouldn't it be funny if it was Vince Vaughn?
Yeah, I was just
No,
thinking
no,
that.
no, no,
Fuck
no.
me.
I can't.
I do
Wouldn't
miss-
it be
I do miss a Vince
awesome?
Vaughn. I do
If
miss a Vince.
Vince Vaughn was the captain, the new captain. Oh my god, the hilarity!
Vince Vaughn should have been the fucking captain in 1999 too. I love
Well,
Vince
you know,
Vaughn.
that's what I'm saying. I was just thinking that it's like,
But he would have been
Dodge-
way too young then.
But
Well,
I was
mean,
gonna
they
say,
were
imagine if
talking about-
if Dodgeball had come out before, Galaxy Quest, they absolutely would have gotten.
They were looking, I guess, at like Mel Gibson and Alec Baldwin for the original.
Really?
Yeah.
The original Galaxy Quest.
Or they were
And
trying
Harold
to go
Ramis.
for Harold Ramis was actually supposed to
Gonna
originally
direct.
direct too. Yeah,
Yeah.
but then
Well, yeah, you get so they go into space now as the two crews, and they all have to work together with their each little thing. I just, man, how fun! See, what was it? It was Kevin Hart, wasn't it? Wasn't Kevin Hart the younger?
No,
no,
That
that was
wasn't
Corbin
Kevin Hart?
Blue.
Corbin Blue. Okay, Corbin. Sorry. It's like
Kevin
You know-
Hart.
well,
I know, right?
what? I actually thought
Nobody
it was,
knew who Kevin Hart was in '99.
I don't know. but it would be interesting having them battle in space and having to work together, but that ego battle that the younger and the older are having, and who gets the more limelight,
And I also think it is celebratory of Star Trek in that they did Spider-Man No Way Home like 20 years earlier than Spider-Man. They were the first to do this like meta multiverse kind of crossover film. And it took a long time for anyone else to even fucking try it. So I think it works on that level too. Keeps your Star Trek fans happy, keeps your casual
It would
fans
be
happy,
awesome if you did
keeps
a
the
new
young audience
generation.
happy, keeps the old fans
Yeah.
happy.
I
Yeah,
think that's
new
the only
gen-
way it could actually work if it was a new generation because
New
you have
generation.
Alan Rickman.
So
yeah.
here's the thing: a new generation,
Oh.
and then the plot is that the bad guy comes back and starts to attack the new generation, and they have no idea. They think this is fake. They don't know how to deal with this. But then they realize, wait a minute, the old cast was right. This really did
Mhm.
happen, and they got to reach out to the old
There you
cast.
go. There's your tie
That's-
into Wrath of Khan right there.
That's
they-
good right
yeah.
there. That's I was actually just thinking like that would actually be more interesting to kind of have them come in, midway through the movie,
Mhm.
But,
They're at a con
okay.
signing.
but as much as it would be a waste of Sam Rockwell, it would be funny if he appeared and it's just like, oh hey everybody, boom, and he dies like right there.
Now he's a big movie star.
And
Yeah.
then he dies.
He's
just
signing-
to
he's
have
That
signing
would
that.
actually be
autographs.
really funny.
I think Sam Rockwell would go for that. I think
I
he
do
would.
too.
I think so.
And
Yeah,
he's the one.
that-
He's the one that dies at the con. The actual Jim Carrey villain comes in, and kills guy on stage.
And obviously you don't have Alan Rickman anymore, so you can't recast that role. You just have to explain.
But what a great moment at the beginning of the movie. You get to
In
honor
memoriam.
in memoriam. You get to honor Alan Rickman. Somebody comes up and you show an old clip, like an outtake from the first Galaxy Quest on the screen. You get
Love it.
You get a good.
And you can hear the voice of Alan Rickman being like, "You stupid! You need to get your credit," And that's when they decide to work together. Here's the little Alan Rickman nod, the little ghost of Rickman. That could be cute. So I do want to check the live chat out a little bit. I see some people in defense of Star Trek Undiscovered Country. My apologies if I've offended anyone. I just want to say,
our fans get it.
I was fucking 7 or 8 years old. Give me a break, dude.
You were a turd, and your teacher deserved your respect, you heathen.
Oh, get off your high horse,
Not a high horse. It's not a high horse, it's a chalkboard. Back off.
I can fucking
one too many of that gas station pizza pies.
I can taste the suede elbow pads on your corduroy blazer when you talk like that. There's some talk in the live chat. Sean Gold says, when's the VCR Redux convention? I want to go to the Hall of Tropical Shirts hosted by Chris. Hopefully that'll be a real thing one of these days. I'd like to have my own custom line of Hawaiian shirts. I'm just saying, King Kameha, you do fine stuff.
I want that. I want an eBay sale of one of Chris's shatty shirts.
No more Tommy Bahama, no more Jimmy Buffett shirts. It's Chris Stiles shirts.
Fan
King
buys
Kameha,
it,
we can
opens
move some
the
product.
box and just smells it. Just creepy.
We will make the ultimate in pop culture Hawaiian shirts. I'm just saying. So there's let's see who's got some pitches in the chat. There's some love for Missy Pyle. Some poking fun of Chris. Chris is an alien some days, then comes back. I have no idea what you're talking about. Some love for Mickey's Con. Some requests that Corey Feldman be added, which I'm never opposed to.
I'd accept Corey Feldman being killed at the first.
He's just one of the actors at the con. He's just there. Yeah, he's one of the guys that gets killed by.
He's always there.
Yeah, that'd be funny. He might go for that a little death cameo. Angie Saunders says, "What about Adam Sandler as a bad guy?" That's not actually the worst idea I've ever heard. Provided the rule is he can't do some stupid fucking voice. If he's gonna talk like Estefan the whole time, then
he probably would
suck.
He will.
If not, I'll say that I'll counter this. If not Jim Carrey, Bill Hader. I love some Bill Hader.
He also looks like one of the fucking Thermians.
He does actually, so it would actually work,
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he could definitely be a Thermian. A lot of love for the Jim Carrey casting. And some talk of our buddy over at Staunch TV seeing Corey Feldman in concert. Shit, that's okay. So there are some pitches here. I didn't see these, but Kyle 2.0 saved the day. Thank you, Kyle. Pitch number 1, Alex Bonafonte. Do not make a direct sequel. You can't without Rickman. What should be done as a sequel based on a fake spin-off show so you can recast while paying respects. Make it raunchier too, please. So I think we kind of met in the middle. We have the new cast and stuff. And but I think people do love Tim Allen, and we all certainly love Sigourney Weaver and Sam Rockwell, and the whole supporting cast, Missy Pyle, Tony Shalhoub. We want to see as many of them back as possible.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying about respect, but at the same time, you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, I feel. And this movie was, I feel like, super fucking lucky to have ever gotten Sigourney Weaver to begin with. You don't just throw out Sigourney Weaver. And you don't do the Ghostbusters thing where they all play different characters. That is so distracting. These, half-assed, half-hearted fan service cameos. Those are the worst. So people want to see, Jason Nesmith. They want to see these characters. So again, another pitch from Gold's Code says Galaxy Quest gets rebooted and the younger and new cast influencers, not actors. That's a nice touch. Is unprepared for when a real alien invasion takes place. It's up to Jason and the OG crew to save the day. So yeah, basically, very similar to what we pitched. I'm glad that it seems kind of obvious that this is like how it should be done, because I know there's actually a lot of talk of a Galaxy Quest 2 happening, so I hope that if they do that, they kind of stick to what we're all saying here.
I think they're waiting too long because
Well, it's too long.
Well,
to,
I think
it's too long to
that
put
they
it
were-
two. I mean,
They were planning on it, but then Rickman passed away, I think. So
Yeah,
I think
but
I don't know if they know what they're going to do with that now, or if they're just throwing it out altogether.
well,
although it's ironic though nowadays there's so many old old franchises and IPs that are just getting sequel. Like I was watching a documentary on Roseanne Barr, and just the interesting concept of the newer version of Roseanne that kind of came out. That it's 20 years later, but it's still relevant. But it's not it's not that relevant. It's this relevant. And a Galaxy Quest now, as we were talking about earlier, again with the whole concept of the normalcy. Like you could also have a subplot like the Justin Long subplot of how almost in a weird way the normalization of conventions, this acceptability almost takes the fun away sometimes. I've talked a lot about this of how when I was in school, if you played video games, I mean, you were made fun of. You were like, it was, but it was a pride thing. It's like, yeah, you're picking, you're picking, you're picking on me. Well, that's okay. I'm going to be the best gamer ever because you're picking on me. It's almost like we're losing a little bit of that nowadays. And I almost wonder if like a subplot could be part of that, a group who is looking at this convention saying, this is not.
I know what you're saying, and that could certainly be like a B, C, D storyline, something like that.
Yeah.
But I think it also influences the A storyline in the way you cast the young crew. Like, it's like I almost feel like Jason Momoa should be like the new captain. Like he's just so hunky and like sexy and like over the top, That's like, how can Tim Allen possibly, not
Compete
feel
with that?
completely
but you would have a hard time believing that Jason Momoa could not handle a real alien attack. I mean, I think like
you have him play
you
have him play a dumb hot guy. That's how you do it. You have him
I
play
mean,
a fucking airhead.
maybe
So are we going
vain
Ryan
airhead. It would be
Gosling now? Is that what
hilarious.
you're saying?
Ryan
What?
Gosling.
Because he's doing Ken. So
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling? What? I mean, yeah, he would work, I guess.
mm.
But I almost feel like it's a little less obvious to cast someone.
Just David Spade, like me.
No, I really. Ryan Gosling's great. He's super talented. He's great in comedies. Got a great look. I'm sure he would crush that role. But
I
I'm
was
just getting
making
like
fun of the fact that he's playing Ken. That's all I was doing, honestly.
he's playing what?
He's making fun of the fact that he's playing Ken in the new Barbie movie.
Oh, Ken.
Oh,
right. I think that's fucking. I like applaud him for that. I'm like, well, first of all, who doesn't want to be like, told that they're the perfect Ken doll, fucking whatever figure. And second of all, because he's willing that ridiculous neon 90s rollerblade gear. Like, yes, dude, that's the way. Like, give us Malibu Ken, true Malibu Ken. Don't fucking, that dude's got the balls to do it. Good for him.
Do you know what I got instead? Malibu Barbie.
I was a ballerina. I was graceful. I was elegant. God damn, we're gonna do Addams Family someday and pretend Raul Julia's still alive. But something, I think rarely are we on the exact same page as the bulk of our audience in the live chat. So I think it's pretty obvious how you bring back.
Hey, we all win. There we go.
We all win. Yes, kudos to us all and to us all.
Mickey gets a card. Jazz gets a card. You get an ugly shirt.
Yeah, well, I'll settle for some Wendy's. But at any rate,
yeah, you literally are settling, sir.
So I see before we wrap it up, I see Jeremy Ledford from Nerdcore there say, I'd like to see a podcast doing a continuation of A Knight's Tale sometime, which we appreciate the request. We will definitely try and work A Knight's Tale into there, but the best way to get us to do your thing is to leave a comment on the video, not in the live chat, but
Heath
on the
Ledger
after
Knight's
the fact.
Tale.
What's that?
Yeah, I
The
think
Heath
it's
Ledger
He was
Yeah.
a Knight's Tale. You know something? If Jeremy Ledford of Nerdcore comments that enough on our videos, not in the live chat, but on the actual upload, it will definitely happen eventually. You can't ignore the fans what they want.
I mean, like, I'm still waiting for a sequel to First Night with Richard Gere.
You could do First Knight's Tale. Boom.
Why?
Well, anyway, before we wrap it up, is there anything, Jazz, you want to let the people at home know about anything you got coming up?
Sure.
Concerts, articles.
My choir has got like a few performances coming up. We're actually doing something that we don't normally do, which is for Halloween. The weekend before Halloween, we're actually going to I guess sing the along with the score to the 1925 silent film, The Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, far
We're
out.
we're going to be
Far
doing
out.
that on the 29th at 7 and the 30th at 3 p.m. at Battleground High School in Washington. And then, we got our Christmas stuff coming up too for December that we're working on.
Wow, world
Oh,
traveler.
that is cool. That is.
Let me
cool.
know when you do the Broadway musical of Silent Night, Deadly Night. I will be there.
I will send the request in.
Anything I could do to facilitate that happening. That's why my dream is to own the Punk Rock Playhouse one day. Do things like this.
That'd be cool.
Mickey, Ian, anything going out? Ian, you had a B movie challenge come out, right?
Yes, coming up, in case you were ever like me and stumbled upon this great movie called Surf 2, the end of a trilogy.
Great
From
Corinne Bear, right?
1984. Yes, Corinne Bear, Eddie
Oh.
Deason. May he get help and hopefully gets off of this journey he's on. And Eric Stoltz in one of his first roles. And you went to the video store and tried to find a Surf 1. It was actually one of the best practical jokes ever. There was only a Surf 2. So check out my latest article on Fandom Spotlite on the B movie challenge of the epic Surf II.
I applaud you, sir. Talking about God's work right there. Mickey, any closer to recording? Rick Barth on the line?
Yeah, that's gonna
playing
happen
live?
this weekend. Sunday, I'm going to do my track. So
Yes.
And then next weekend, you're all mine at New Jersey HorrorCon, man. Anyway, you Fandom fans might want to come back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. when we party with
Protect
preferred
yourself, Mickey.
customers only for our Cable Guy episode. As always, if you enjoyed
Cable
this-
Guy.
I knew it was coming. Thank you, sir. As always, if you enjoyed this video, the best way to help out is to smash that like button and to leave a comment and tell us what movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode of VCR Redux. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow Fandom Spotlight, the Hollow Knight Network, and Pop Culture Punk. Till then, back up those Betamax, rewind those Laserdiscs, and we'll see you at the movies.